Welcome everybody to another World of Tanks replay. My name is Maxwell and this one is from the user Electroethanol. And he's driving the Centurion AX on an encounter battle on Redshire. The Centurion Action 10 is a tier 10 medium tank for the British, the long-awaited replacement for the FV, affectionately nicknamed the Prius. And what a beautiful looking tank it is. But on the battlefield, looks aren't everything, so we're going to see how this thing performs in the hands of a skilled driver. So let me tell you that Electroethanol knows exactly what he's doing, and this is going to be an exciting match. So straight away, going to be heading over to the far left-hand flank, going to be taking up a position in the castle. And to be honest, the rework on Redshire, I would say, is probably one of the most successful that Wargaming's done. When they normally do map reworks, they change a little bit here, a little bit there, but it generally stays about the same. Like, there might be a very small improvement, but they generally overall remain about the same in terms of good and bad. Whereas I think that the Redshire rework has been unanimously good. This thing has been very, very good for the map and for maps in general. So, straight away, Electro getting some good damage onto the AMX and the T-54. Just like all the other tanks in the British tech tree, this thing has a great rate of fire, great penetration, but a little bit lower than average alpha damage. As you can see, 268mm of penetration and 390 average damage. Still a lot higher than the average damage of Russian mediums, but lower reload than the Russian mediums. And by lower, I mean longer, obviously. But this thing still performs very, very good. Coming around the back of this T-54, gets a lovely quick shot there to take out his track as his ally in the T-62A was coming around the other side, which took the attention of the T-54. And the Skoda T-50 able to just burn off the last of his hit points. And there's nobody else really showing themselves as a target. That AMX 1375 has already made a beeline out of here. So with the Castle 1, going to be making a move towards the centre of the map. The Lorraine 40-ton is making some moves towards the cap circle. As you can see, this tank has a great aiming speed there. How quickly it's able to focus in on that Centurion 7-1. He's not going to be able to back away without taking at least one more hit from Electro. And that was a nice bit of damage. Still looking towards this AMX 1375. If we can get some damage onto him and take him out, that'll be a good win for the Allied team. But it looks like he's either stopped behind this building or he's made a complete run for it. So switches his attention across towards this Ferdinand instead. Ferdinand very nicely hulled down, but that's not going to make any difference whatsoever to 268mm of penetration. Just going to be able to smack a shot straight through that regardless. They're going to be looking at getting another shot into that Ferdinand, and a beautiful hit there. And he's going to be thinking twice or maybe thrice about popping up over the hill again. Electro going to allow that RU-251 to go and do his thing. Engage in the dance of death with the Ferdinand. Maybe not, actually. The RU looks like he's just veered away. Maybe spots the GW Tiger and the Lorraine 155 that's been lit up. Electro thinks to himself that he wants a piece of that action. Gets a great shot onto the GW Tiger as he crests over the hill. Now he's going to pay more attention towards this Ferdinand as he's turning to try and get into position. Not sure if that one landed. What health did the Ferdinand have? 710. So that one may have landed blind without killing him. And the Allies are in a little bit of a commanding position right now. Despite the fact that they are losing 5 kills to 8, they are all in and around the... Actually, they're not all in and around the cap circle. Electro himself and the Skoda T-50 are in and around the cap circle in good defensive positions. And this T-62A is maybe having a little bit of a sparring session with that Ferdinand. But it looks like the Ferdinand's going to think a few times before popping up again. Looks like the heavy tanks have arrived now, though. T-34 in this IS-7. Sorry, not T-34. It's a Conqueror. And an IS-7 making moves towards the cap circle. Electro realizes that this IS-7 is not going to be deterred, not with his armor and his gun. He's just going to push on around. Going to try and get a shot through that pike. Not quite able to land. That one just hits the corpse of a fallen enemy tank. The IS-7 just going to muscle his way around the corner. He is Russian heavy. He has the armor and he has the firepower. Electro just giving ground to him. He probably has enough health to just straight up duel with him. Takes a hit from the front there, but looks like that one bounced on the turret, as did that one. Going to allow the IS-7 just enough rope to hang himself, but it looks like he's a decent player. So instead of just barreling over the top of that hill where he could have been tracked, he decides to stop and pay attention to this object 140, which is attempting the circle strafe of death. Electro didn't quite get a shot through the rear of the IS-7's turret, but that one through the underbelly of the Pike does. Takes a hit now. IS-7 spoilt for choices. Everybody's closing in on him. Everyone wants a piece of this action. And obviously IS-7 is mighty until he finally falls to the combined firepower of these three high-tiered medium tanks. And that's now kill number 1 for Electro Ethanol, even though he's picked himself up over 5,000 points of damage. Looks like there's a 113 moving in to get the allied artillery, but hasn't paid enough heed to the tanks in the center, and he takes 423 damage through the side of his armor. Allies have done a great job of evening this one up, almost exactly even at 11 kills to 10. There is still a full health E100, and even against these high pen guns, a full health E100 is not to be taken lightly. He's actually in a really good position, this E100, where the hull of his tank can't be seen. You can only really get a shot on his turret. As long as he keeps that turret angled between two tanks, they're not going to find it easy to penetrate. Obviously switching to heat rounds here, they're just going to sail right through his armor. The heat round penetration for the Centurion Action X is 330. No amount of angling from this E100 is going to stop those shells going right through his armor like butter. Looks like he's actually got the smaller gun on the E100 as well. Has the E75's gun. He does now get himself into cover. This 113 has found himself a turtle and has just dispatched him. Enemy team still winning at 12 kills to 11, but you still feel like the momentum feels like it's with the allied team, and I think that's just due to the fact that Electro Ethanol has been having such a good game trying to get into cover. But the 113 just puts that one right through his armor. He's probably got the reload speed on the 113, but he's going to take a hit. That one luckily bounces on the turret. Now it's just a case of heading over the hill, finding a shot on his low plate, taking him out for kill number 2, 7,300 damage. And that just leaves the E100 and the Lorraine 155. Electro going to be getting to the higher ground. Going to allow the E100 just to move forward. Going to wait for his ally in the Skoda T50 to move in just a little bit. Looks like the Object 140 is going for the artillery. E100 takes a hit from the Skoda, starts to turn himself around. That's going to allow Electro shots through his side of his turret. The E100 does not know where to look. He's got his rear armor pointed this way and his turret pointed this way. Looks like he's desperately trying to get into cover, but the quick reload of the Action X is enough to get a couple of good hits onto him. He continues charging forward. I think he just decided that he at least wants to kill this Skoda, and the Skoda does not want to get shot. He's playing run around the houses with him. Very quick reload of the Action X. Not quite enough to land a shot, though. E100 being as cagey as can be. He's all alone. He gets taken out by the Object 140, and that is GG and the win. So awesome game played there by Electro Ethanol in his Centurion Action 10, picking himself up 8,500 points of damage, maybe more with a couple of blind shots. Only 2 kills, but playing a very, very good tactical game there, showing his skills with this tier 10 medium tank. So awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, then send that into replay@screenreality.com. Link for that is in the description. I've been Maxwell. This has been a World of Tanks replay, and I will catch you guys next time.